Yeah, looking at some strikeout props, we're trying to stay away from the early games, although I will mention Brandon Woodruff over 7.5 against the Cubs. I would take me over against the Cubs at this point. But I also like the overs really in both sides of that same Field of Dreams game. Again, wish we had some park factors for the corn. I'm sure they have set up a fine batter's eye there, but I would be somewhat suspicious of it being a lower standard than a normal quality in an MLB ballpark. So I wonder if it's going to lead to more strikeouts than we'd expect. And both these pitchers can get a fair number of strikeouts. Heaney's is a little bit lower at 6.5, so it'll be easier to hit. And he's hit that over in 3 of his last 4 starts and 6 of his last 11. Even Lance Lynn on the other side, Yankees strike out a ton. 7.5 is pretty high, but a Yankees team that already struck out a lot and then added Joey Gallo and is now playing again in the middle of a cornfield, I would expect to see quite a few strikeouts on both sides.
Nick, what do you think? Pitcher prop you're interested in?
Erik raises a good point about the batter's eye, as much as we've been arguing this entire segment. I do agree with him on the Lance Lynn portion of that. I'm still not going to join you in the Andrew Heaney camp. But my number one pitcher prop tonight is Yu Darvish getting over 6.5 Ks against the Diamondbacks. I know the Diamondbacks, on the season, they're middle of the pack in terms of K rate against right-handed pitching, but they've been striking out a ton against righties of late. The only team they've been outdone by is the Cubs, and that's in part thanks to Corbin Burns. But part of the reason that they're so high in terms of strikeout rate against right-handed pitching over the last few weeks is they faced Yu Darvish. Was it his last start? So that was August 7th, I believe. And he got 12 strikeouts again against them last time. I was stunned to see this open up at 6.5. If it was 7.5, I'd probably take it too. 8.5, I'd have to think about it a little bit more. But he got eight strikeouts in 2 starts ago. And then when you look at the Diamondbacks too, they're one of the worst teams in the league since the All-Star game in terms of making contact on pitches they go after out of the zone. And in general, they're just bottom of the barrel in OPS, ISO, WOBA against right-handed pitching this season. So Darvish, at least 7 Ks tonight against the Diamondbacks.